Poland preparing $56 million aid package for Ukraine, says Tusk. Trump warns Iran ahead of talks, says its leaders should be very worried. Trevor Noah takes jabs at Trump and Nicki Minaj during Grammys, draws president's ire. Google's annual revenue tops $400 billion for first-time AI investments rise. US-Iran talks, still scheduled. Poland is preparing a new military aid package worth 200 million zloty, or nearly $56 million, for Ukraine, Prime Minister Donald Tusk said on Thursday during a visit to Kyiv. Tusk said the package would mainly consist of armored equipment, as Warsaw continues to support Ukraine in its defense against Russia's invasion. He added that Poland is ready to provide MiG-29 fighter jets at any time. However, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky indicated that air defense systems may currently be a higher priority than fighter aircraft. Tusk said he would consult with Polish officials and respond to Zelensky's request by Monday. Poland has been one of Ukraine's strongest supporters since the start of the war, providing military aid, humanitarian assistance, and logistical support. US President Donald Trump has issued a renewed warning to Iran's leadership, as US military forces build up in the region, and uncertainty grows over diplomatic talks between Washington and Tehran. Speaking to NBC News on Tuesday, Trump said Iran's supreme leader should be very worried, adding that negotiations between the two countries are underway. The comments came after US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the United States remains open to talks with Iran, but stressed that any discussions cannot be limited to Iran's nuclear program alone. Rubio said Washington believed an agreement had been reached to hold talks on Friday in Turkey, though confusion remains over the meeting's format and agenda. He suggested Iran may have shifted its position after initially agreeing to a framework. Iran has reportedly requested that the talks be moved to Oman and that regional countries be excluded. The White House has not commented on those reports. Tehran is also seeking to restrict the talks to nuclear issues. However, Rubio said meaningful progress would require broader discussions, including Iran's ballistic missile program, its support for regional militant groups, and its human rights record. Comedian Trevor Noah sparked controversy after joking about rapper Nicki Minaj and former US President Donald Trump during his opening monologue at the 68th Grammy Awards on Sunday. Hosting the ceremony at Crypto.com Arena, Noah joked that Minaj was still at the White House with Trump, before impersonating the former president. The remarks drew loud applause from the audience. Minaj has recently praised Trump and signaled support for his MAGA platform, which Noah referenced during the monologue. Trump later responded on his social media platform Truth Social, calling one of Noah's jokes false and defamatory, and threatening legal action. The comment referred to a separate joke about Trump and Greenland following the closure of Epstein's private island. Despite the sharp exchange, Noah largely avoided heavy political commentary during the broadcast. He made lighter jokes about award winners including Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar, and Bad Bunny. He also highlighted Lauryn Hill's first Grammy performance since 1999 and joked with Bad Bunny about living in Puerto Rico. Google parent company Alphabet has reported strong earnings, with revenue rising sharply as the company continues to invest heavily in artificial intelligence and cloud computing. Alphabet said revenue rose 18% year-on-year in the latest quarter, while full-year revenue topped $400 billion for the first time since the company was founded in 1998 by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Despite the strong performance, Alphabet said it plans to almost double its investment spending as competition intensifies in Silicon Valley's AI race. The company expects capital expenditure of between $175 and $185 billion in 2026, roughly twice its spending in 2025. Chief Executive Sundar Pichai said demand for AI-powered services continues to exceed the company's capacity, despite rapid expansion of computing infrastructure. Alphabet shares fell just over 1% in after-hours trading. AI and cloud momentum. Google's Gemini artificial intelligence platform continued to gain users, reaching 750 million monthly users, up by 100 million from the previous quarter. Analysts say Alphabet is closing in on market leader OpenAI in the global AI race. Alphabet reported $113.8 billion in revenue for the final quarter of 2025, driven by its core search business and cloud services. Quarterly profit reached $34.5 billion. The United States says one of its fighter jets has shot down an Iranian drone that flew close to a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Middle East, heightening tensions just days before planned nuclear talks between Washington and Tehran. The incident occurred on Tuesday and marked the second confrontation between the two countries in regional waters that day. Earlier, Iranian forces attempted to detain a U.S.-flagged oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff is still expected to hold talks with Iranian officials later this week, despite the escalation. The United States and Iran have agreed to resume negotiations after repeated warnings from U.S. President Donald Trump of possible military action if no deal is reached. Iran has warned it would retaliate by striking U.S. ships and bases if attacked. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian confirmed he had authorized the start of talks, provided they are free of threats. According to a regional official, U.S.-Iran talks are now scheduled to take place in Oman on Wednesday, after Tehran requested the venue be moved from Turkey. Iran wants discussions limited to its nuclear program and not expanded to include ballistic missiles or regional influence.